Hey, everybody, welcome back to the UBEC podcast. It's Sunday again, yet again, another Sunday, and it is February 19th. We're coming from our small corner in the mid Atlantic, Maryland, again, here to see you, bring you some topics. I'm one of the co hosts, Dustin. My partner, Will's here. So, how's your week been this week?
It was good. I was disappointed to see the Eagles lose in the Super Bowl, but it was a good game. It was an intense game. So I can't really complain about that. How about you, sir?
That was a pretty good week this week. I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but I seen who won. And, you know, I don't know why you're disappointed that Philly lost. I mean, the shitheads in Philly were burning the city down before the game even started. So,
Dude, that's so funny because Dak Prescott, the quarterback for the Cowboys, he won the Walter Payton Award for the year, which is an honorary award. You know, Walter Payton, there remember him because I think he was a great football player, but I can't remember. He got a disease or something, and now they have a foundation in his name. So Dak Prescott won the award, and you can hear it on live TV. The Philly fans booing him for getting this award because the Cowboys were one of the teams that beat Philly this year. One of only two teams that beat him. I just couldn't believe they were booing him because he was getting this award. I mean, it was so Philly.
I said it last week. Philly's a shithole. It's filled with shitty people. I was reading an article earlier about like where someone had posted a picture of the construction of 95 when it was first being built in the 70s going through Philly. And everybody's just like, oh, it's such a beautiful city and this and that. I'm like, have you driven through Philly recently? You fucking live there. You know it's a shithole. Like there's
Right.
trash everywhere. They don't sweep the streets anymore. Like they do no general upkeep to anything. So I mean, like they destroyed what beauty? And they're like, I miss the slower times. Well, yeah, maybe you do, but it's 2023 and things are a lot fucking better. You know, you're what, 70 years old now, and you remember the good old days? You probably wouldn't have lived to see 70, without advancements in technology and medicine. So go fuck yourself. That's just a stupid sentiment to have. Like, I miss the slower. I hate people that say that. Like, I mean, I guess I miss the old days too sometimes, but at the end of the day, I like having an iPhone, you know?
Right. Right.
Like I miss whenever I could buy candy for 5 cents. Well, that's because your daddy was only making like $20 a week, you dipshit. Like, you remember when you could buy a brand new car for $5,000? What? That's all you were making in a year.
Right.
Like, come on now. So, but yeah, I mean, my week went pretty good. Super Bowl was, definitely interesting. Doing these clips and shit though that we put out, when we clip up the podcast episode, I decided to take a look at YouTube's monetization policy. And dude, have you ever taken a look at that?
No.
Dude, it's like fucking Tipper Gore wrote that shit. Do you remember Tipper Gore from the 90s? She was trying to ban like NWA, Al Gore's wife.
Yeah, I do
Like
remember now. Yeah.
all like the parental consent and all that shit. Like they wanted to ban like Twisted Sister, NWA, like all those like rap and rock groups. They wanted to ban them because of their vulgar lyrics. So I was looking at Google or yeah, well, it's Google YouTube. I was looking at their monetization policy, and this shit is written by fucking Puritans, dude. Like you can't. It says like if you say fuck in the first 3 to 5 seconds of a video, it can be demonetized. You can't even like you can't say anything disparaging or anything about Zelensky, Ukraine, nothing. Even though Ukraine is and was, and maybe Zelensky's doing a good job at kind of cleaning it up, but historically, Ukraine's one of the most corrupt countries in Eastern Europe. But even saying things like that, like YouTube's like, no, you can't say that. What? Like, just fuck YouTube. Like that, like we use it, but we use it because it's so big. But that's, create your own fucking narrative. They say it because advertisers like they want to be as advertiser friendly. Do you really think that advertisers aren't going to so say we have these hour-long episodes. Say they get bigger in the future where we're getting, instead of our however 100 views or whatever we get now. Say we move on and we get like 3 million views per episode. Do you really think that YouTube's not going to play an advertisement in the middle, the beginning, the middle, and the fucking end of an episode just because we said fuck a couple times and because we said something bad about Ukraine? No, they're still going to play the advertisement, but the way of getting out of paying anybody any kind of money so they can keep all the net profits for themselves is by demonetizing. That's all it is. It's a pure fucking profit play.
It's a money grab.
Yeah. So, and good week though. Like, there's a lot in the news. I think we're going to cover a good bit of that just because this week has been a fucking week in the news. Like, I mean, from balloons and UFOs and trains and everything. I mean, and these balloon things, I don't know if you followed any of that, but dude, the White House, like the White House staff said that they're trying to blame it on used car balloons.
What?
Like, the balloons that used car dealerships put out in their lots, and like the big, like the gorillas and the little floppy dudes. You
Yeah,
know what
I
I'm
know what
talking
you
about?
mean. Uh-huh.
They're blaming it on that. They said that it could be used car balloons. I seen that on the Daily Wire. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you're really gonna blame it on a used car balloon?
What
And then
the
I was
fuck?
okay, so these F-16s, F-24s that they're shooting these fucking things down with, do you realize the cost of one of those Sidewinder missiles?
Oh, I can imagine.
They're like 400, 500,000 a pop. One point, so if you look down what they've roughly spent about $2 million and shooting these goddamn balloons down. The kicker to this is all of these airplanes have fucking Gatling gun machine guns. I think they shoot like 50 calibers or even higher. Why didn't you just use the machine gun? Like what happened in Vietnam and Korea and the last time, I guess that's the thing, that we don't have true dog fighters anymore. They don't know
No.
how to use machine guns. They've got to use heat-seeking Sidewinder missiles that cost the taxpayers 500,000 per missile.
Yeah, I think the military is investing more in unarmed unmanned drones than they are jet fighters and what did they used to call them? Eagle runners or eagle chasers. You know what I mean? Like back in the Top Gun.
Yeah, that's what they should though. Man, the drones, that's the way to go. You could have people think about the amount of service you could get out of someone. Like you get a kid when he's like 18, fresh out of high school, and I mean, really to him, it's just playing a game.
Right.
So I mean, he could play this game until he's well into his 60s and 70s. It takes away from anyone, like, because I used to want to join the Air Force when I was a kid, but I couldn't because I've been wearing these things since I was 2 years old. You have to have like perfect vision. There's a whole slew of requirements you have to have for the Air Force, and I wouldn't have met it just off of wearing glasses. But I mean, if we had drones back whenever like we were getting out of high school and shit, I mean, we did, but I didn't really know anything about it. I would have went in the Air Force and been like, yeah, I'll fucking fly a drone.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna have like mechanized like robot soldiers.
Yeah, they've been saying that for a long time. They think the entire military will be mechanical, electronic, or robotic.
Like, what are they gonna kill at that point though? Or is it just gonna be like to take over and enforce what areas of land they control? Because I mean, really, you're not gonna go after humans anymore. You shouldn't have to anyway.
Yeah, well, I think that's what they want to do. I think the main thing is they want to prevent our casualties on our side, and then still try to get as many casualties on their side as possible. I mean, that's what I think.
I think that Northrop Grumman and companies like that are just gonna do it to make money, but they don't care the cost of anything other than what they get paid.
That's
But
probably true.
that's our capitalistic war machine for you.
Yeah.
Can't slow that baby down.
Nope.
We're shooting down fucking balloons with Sidewinder missiles.
That train ain't gonna stop moving.
We can't afford to give people free college education, but we can spend $500,000 to shoot a balloon down. Just one balloon. But if you want to go to college, you cannot go to college. You silly communist. Dude, and that's one thing. Like, we don't get into politics a whole lot, but I'm sure people can tell about the way I think and just off like the post office thing. But I've always said like national health, like the health of your citizens and the education, that's a national security issue in my eyes. So I've always been like a proponent of free healthcare and free education. Maybe not free, like you have to pay for it somehow, through taxes or something. But I think having a basic level of education post secondary or post high school and a basic level of like health insurance for everybody. Now, if you smoke cigarettes, you pay a little more in taxes for your health care. Or if you drink or you do something, but everybody's like they're going to have death panels. No, they're not. They're not going to have death panels. It could work here. We could make it work. But do you want to have a sick and stupid citizenship or do you want to have a healthy and smarter country? That's
Exactly.
But I think we like our people sick and stupid and just sitting in front of a TV
Well,
watching
it's work.
fucking commercials for pharmaceutical companies like Prozac and all that shit. Oh, they're not happy. Let's just give them fucking happy pills.
I heard that the Super Bowl was sponsored by was it Pfizer or one of those medical companies? I don't know if it's true or not. I guess
I don't know. Let's see
somebody could fact check us on that, or we could fact check ourselves.
who sponsored the Super Bowl.
I
Apple
thought,
Music. Who are the main sponsors? Anheuser-Busch, PepsiCo. Let's see, pharmaceutical. We'll add that to the search. Astellas buys a Super Bowl commercial. I don't know. I don't really see anything about a pharmaceutical company.
well, maybe not then. It could have been fake news. Who knows?
I see Budweiser, Coca-Cola, Doritos, GoDaddy, Master Lock, and Tide. I mean, I'm sure they definitely had some advertising in there, though. Like I said, I didn't watch it, so I don't know the commercials.
Right.
And I haven't had like what they call it, terrestrial cable. I haven't had that in years. So I don't watch like advertisements on anything. Like even YouTube, I pay for the YouTube. I ain't got time for ads, dude. I hate ads. They drive me insane. So yeah, yeah, it's been an interesting week. I think you got some news though. I think we could get into that. Get into some because I've got a take on all these are on all these issues because they're pretty much they're especially the main one that I just brought up was the train derailment.
Yeah. Do we want to get into that first?
Yeah, yeah. Let's get into the train derailment.
All right. Well, I do you want to just give a little summary about what happened and we'll go from there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So in Palestine, I guess New Palestine, something like that. East Palestine, Ohio. You can see on the screen here just general stories. Chemical leak in Ohio train derailment. Norfolk Southern, is that the name of the? Yeah, Norfolk Southern Railway. They're responsible for it. Now you have fact checks coming out. What's true and what's false. I don't even want to click in that article, but we will anyway. So let's just see what they have to say. Hopefully, they're not sitting here saying, because one thing when I was getting into it earlier this week on Facebook, there's a picture of the mushroom cloud whenever they were burning off the chemicals, and Facebook marked it as fake news. Like, I don't understand how that was fake news, but prompted an array of false and misleading claims, speculations, falsehoods. So residents were ordered to evacuate. So vinyl chloride is uh, what the chemical, and that is a chemical that was used a fair amount in the trench warfare of World War One. So it's definitely a very dangerous chemical. It was one of our costliest wars.
And
as
that
and in terms of both monetary and human loss.
that's what they were hauling on the trains, right?
I don't know if that's exactly what they were hauling or if it just like from burning the different chemicals, it's what it created. But I think a lot of that goes into like plastics and everything too. Like it's what they use to make plastic.
And listen to this. After the crash, over the next few days, dead fish appeared in the creeks, thousands of them. People nearby told local media that their chickens died suddenly, their foxes panicked, their pets felt ill. Residents complained of headaches, burning eyes, and sore throats.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's crazy. So and what I read in that, it said that more or less, what did it say? So pretty much if your animals are dying, like there's people there, I think a guy had a pet fox and there's some people with chickens and they said like if your animals are dying, like pretty much just go back to your house. It's okay to breathe the air. Like it's not a big deal. It's not our fault. We didn't cause this. It's not the chemicals that are causing it. But okay, 3,500 fish. Your
God,
chickens are just dying. Like, and the woman, because I watched that on the news, the woman said that earlier, like the night before, the chickens were fine, and she had her like a camera up that was pointing at her coops and everything, and you could see like they just started falling over and dying. Like, and the she had video from the day before where the chickens were totally healthy. So what is going to cause that chicken to just keel over?
yeah, and confirming what you said, in the cars were carrying, among other substances, vinyl chloride, a colorless hazardous gas that is used to make PVC plastic and vinyl products. So it was the vinyl chloride, I think, was the kicker. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and then they burned it, and when they set everything on fire, that released some kind of hydrogen because I guess whenever you add fire, didn't really pay attention in chemistry, but it creates another hazardous chemical that when you breathe in, it's neither one are good,
Right.
obviously. So, but yeah, vinyl chloride is a carcinogen, so it makes people get cancer pretty much. And that's the scary thing too is maybe they don't have any kind of symptoms now, like other than maybe a scratchy throat and some of their eyes itching. But what about 10, 15, 20 years down the road? What are the long-term effects? Everybody wants to talk about the here and now, but what's going to happen to these people that live in these and stay in this town, a decade or 2 decades from now? What's going to happen? And no one talks about that. And it's like they're already being offered, like I think they offered them $1,000.
Yeah,
The
so
residents of
Norfolk Southern is offering for those affected by the train crash. The first is a reimbursement fee to residents within a 1 mile radius of the crash site for dislocation costs, covering hotels and other necessities needed following the evacuation. The second is an inconvenience fee.
an inconvenience fee. I'm sorry, you might get cancer in 20 years from our fuck up because we didn't maintain our trains, even though we had the government step in and sign a fucking useless contract for our employees so we could keep most of our profits. You seen like, and that's what the whole thing for me is too. And trust me, I am not for unions. I think they generally fuck shit up for everybody. But I think in this situation, like I think they gave them 2 sick days to use per year
Wow.
and
Yeah, I
like a
heard that.
week of vacation. It's total shit. And they're
I heard
locked
that.
into that through a contract. It's not like I can go like with my company, I'm not a union. So like I could go and negotiate terms of my salary or terms of my, vacation or whatever. and
Right.
and they can't do anything. So, and all that does is for these rail companies, Union Pacific, Norfolk Southern, CSX, it locks the employees in and it helps them keep profit. So, but you can't even maintain your fucking trains because this was from like a faulty, like a wheel bearing or something, I think. And they
Yeah.
said that they seen it, I think 2 hours previous coming down the train. Like it was, did you see that video? It was just shooting off fucking sparks and all kinds of shit. Like I think it was like an hour or two, or maybe it was the night before. the derailment actually happened.
I did see that. Yep, I did see that. I'm looking at some stuff about it now. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, the question is, why are they trying to keep it so secret? Because this happened on February 3rd, and we're just hearing most of the details about it now. And there's an article from ABC News. The title is "Charges Dismissed Against Reporter Arrested at Ohio Train Derailment."
Well,
And
don't
this was
don't
a
they
guy.
do this for everybody though? Like every I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like
No,
every
you're
like
good.
3 Mile Island even, didn't they try to like kind of keep that hushed up in the 80s or 90s whenever that happened? Or it's 1979.
I think they did. Yeah, I think that was trying to be a cover up, and then it just got out, like what's going on right now.
So there's a history of this. So yeah, you can go ahead and keep going. I'm gonna pull that up so everybody can see though about this reporter because this is a scary thing here.
Yeah,
So I
that's
got that pulled up. Everybody, you can see the article that Will's talking about.
yeah. It's a lot of quotes, but it starts out. Trespassing and resisting arrest charges were dismissed Wednesday against News Nation reporter Evan Lambert, who was arrested at a press conference last week about the East Palestine, Ohio train derailment. So there was a press conference going around. It wasn't like they just kicked him out. But can you see what the reason was?
Uh, it says while journalists could conceivably be subject to criminal charges for trespassing, this incident's not one of them. This is from them. So pretty much, and I'm sure if we even go in and try to find articles of like why he was kicked out, why was reporter arrested? Let's see, because normally they'll recant these articles and they'll see because now all you're going to see is charges dismissed, charges dismissed. They're not going to actually go in and like explain why because they've got a safe face.
It says for trespassing
Yeah, but I mean, how was he trespassing when it was an open press
press
conference?
conference. Yeah,
Like he's a member of the press. Isn't that his fucking job to be there?
right.
Like, let's arrest a reporter for being at a press conference. That's fucking stupid. That's some
Some
so
bullshit.
that and that's he probably asked a question that they didn't like and they're like get him out. Oh yeah, that's right here. Okay, so Lambert was doing a live report while Governor Mike DeWine, he's a dipshit anyway, spoke at a press conference about cleanup efforts following a train derailment in a small Ohio village, prompting law enforcement to ask Lambert to be quiet. News Nation said that Lambert concluded the segment before being asked to leave.
What the fuck?
This is stupid. What a traumatic event it was. So, I mean, I don't understand how it was uh, more than a decade covering crime, courts, and recently federal law enforcement. DeWine said that he didn't see the incident, but he heard a disagreement. Well, I guess at least, well, no, that's not even DeWine that said it. So, regardless of the intent, arresting a journalist reporting at a press conference is a serious matter. It is. Like, that is Ohio protects a free press under its constitution. How about Ohio protects a free press under the United States fucking constitution? Fuck Ohio's constitution. Fuck Maryland's constitution. Fuck California's constitution. We have one in the entire country that supersedes every one of them. And that's right there in the first of the First Amendment. So that like this is almost as big of a deal to me as the actual case itself or what's going on out there in Ohio, with the train derailment. It's just as big of an issue, if not bigger, because it does make you think like, what are they covering up?
Right. Why are they trying to cover it up? Why are they trying to keep it hidden?
And DeWine, he's saying like there's no chemicals, like they've had people out to test. And it's like one of the people in the town said, if there's no leftover contaminants or anything like that, why are the people testing wearing hazmat suits?
Yeah.
So if it's safe and the water's clean, he said the water is clean to drink, but until the test results come back from the labs, drink bottled water.
I saw that.
What? You just fucking contradicted yourself. Like that's pretty much saying we think the water's clean. You should probably be able to take a shower. Don't drink it though. Well, you don't realize it, but your skin absorbs things, contaminants and shit like that. Like when you were getting mustard gassed in Germany, it wasn't just from breathing it in. They wear whole big like CBM suits, chemical, biological, or and nuclear suits to keep the shit from getting in. Like it's not just like it can cause horrific rashes, all kinds of shit. But the water's we think it's clean. Just drink bottled water.
This sounds like the beginning of like a zombie movie.
Yeah, it does. Sounds like it's gonna be like The Last of Us or something. The people
Yeah.
it's gonna create a fucking weird hybrid of a mushroom and it's just gonna take over people.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. It seems so cliche. It seems like the beginning of a new Netflix series.
Well, and the thing of it is, it's not the only one that's happened either. Like earlier this week, there was one in Michigan.
Yeah, I
And,
heard that too.
and you were saying earlier about the one here in our town in Fairplay.
Right.
So Fairplay has one. Michigan, I think there was one in the Carolinas, either north or south. I can't remember exactly where. So what is the like deal with all these train derailments? And most of them have like chemical,
Yeah.
like I mean, I understand we consume plastics, but why is it happening now? Unless has it happened in the past and we just haven't heard about it?
Yeah, it's all like hazardous or chemical cargo. There are no passenger trains. It's not like metro or light rail or MARC train derailed. It's all industrial goods.
With chemicals, like hazardous chemicals. It's not even like a train derailment from like some of the coal plants or anything. It's no, this is like super deadly shit.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't even probably even hear much about a coal train derailment. I mean, what's coal? We're digging that shit out of the earth anyway. But it's this really dirty chemical, unless it's the war on plastics. Maybe they're going to force us to go green on this. Maybe we're going to have a press conference and this is the reason we need to get rid of plastics to save the earth. Maybe it's a whole conspiracy to get rid of plastics.
I'm sure Alex Jones probably has something to say about this.
I don't know. He's been on about the balloons recently.
Yeah, well, for good reason.
He's been going off about that. Like that's the whole thing like about the like Project Bluebeam and shit. Like that shit's 50 years old, 60, 70 years old. I don't know if that's the case. I think the balloon and I think the other ones are some kind of spy craft from China. And I think the reason that we're trying not to make a big deal is because Joe's weak and he doesn't want to go to war with China. I don't want to go to war with China either. And I don't like that's mutually assured destruction, not just in terms of if either country uses nuclear weapons, but it's mutually assured destruction just based our economies rely on each other.
Right.
So how are the two biggest economies in the world going to go to war with each other when we depend on each other? Like it's import export. We can't just do that. So, but I mean, call them on their shit. And do you know they seen that spy balloon? They seen it when it left China.
Really?
And they watched it all the way. And they said that they scrambled it and they got all the data from it and shit, like pretty much like it was a reverse espionage kind of thing. I call
Right.
bullshit on that. Because they didn't shoot it down until there was outcry about it.
Right.
They didn't shoot it down until it was all over the news and people were like, why are we letting this happen? And then that's when they decide to shoot it down. And then the other ones they shoot down. That's the kicker with them goddamn balloons. Justin Trudeau, right? The guy, prime minister for Canada.
Yeah.
He said that he ordered United States fighter jets to shoot down. You didn't order shit, dude. You're in Canada. You don't control our fucking military. So stay up there with your gay ass fucking poppy flowers that you wear on your shirt and don't sit there and act like you have any fucking say over our military, buddy. You fucking ordered U.S. fighter jets to shoot down the balloon. Why didn't you get your
he
fucking planes up there?
he personally scrambled them.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck
Yeah,
Trudeau, piece
we
of
don't
shit.
believe you. We don't believe you, dude. But if it sounds good and makes you feel better, that's cool. Whatever.
Yeah, he feels like he's the commander in chief. Part like he's the vice commander in chief.
I stepped over Joe Biden. I scrambled another country's jets right
Yeah,
away.
we had to get rid of the communist threat, even though we're in a quasi-communist country.
Yeah, really.
We take away the psychological licensing from people that express opinions, like Jordan Peterson. Do you see that
Yeah.
shit? The fucking like it's not, I don't know what their name is, but it's like a department, or it's like kind of how like the bar association, but it's for like psychologists in Canada. They took
Right.
away Jordan Peterson's license to practice as a psychiatrist.
Really?
Yeah, because he has unfavorable opinions.
No, I didn't hear about that. That's crazy. They
Yeah.
can't do that.
Well, they did. It's in Canada. They can do whatever they want. They do that shit in America too.
Yeah, I
Dude,
know.
think about it. Like they can cancel your credit cards like if you say something unpopular now. Look at what they did to Kanye.
Yeah.
Like pretty much PayPal and all those companies are like, yeah, we don't want to do business with you anymore. Like you're a bank. Like you have no say. Like I can store my, it's not like I'm a criminal.
Right.
Like that's what they're trying to equate. Like, and that's on top of the, and it kind of does tie into the story with the reporter and everything. That's free speech. Free speech doesn't have to be popular speech, but you have to let people say all the crazy shit they want to say. As long as it doesn't harm anybody, but it's like they'll say it does harm people because now you can harm people with words and it can be a traumatic experience. So it harmed their mental well-being. Get the fuck out of here. It's not my job to police your mental health.
Yeah, their mental well-being wasn't the greatest to begin with. I don't think this did anything
No.
more.
It's just, man, we live in the fucking twilight zone, dude.
Yeah, we do. It feels like it.
You know what I tell people? I don't know if you've seen the movies, The Hunger Games.
What?
Have you seen the Hunger Games movies?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know how they are, like when they get to the Capitol and shit, and like the people were out there with like fucking neon colored hair and shit. And
Yeah,
it's
that was
like
weird.
that's what like we're living in now. It's like the Hunger Games. Like if you go on like TikTok or like some of these fucking videos that you see of people, it's like we're living in the Hunger Games.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like
Um,
men can menstruate and all that shit. It's like men can get their period. They're putting fucking tampons in bathrooms for men.
it's like the train movie. Have you ever seen it? It was on Netflix for a while. What's it called? Where like the further you go up the train, the more the hierarchy of society and everything. So the guy starts at the end of the train, then he ends up going towards the front, and in the front is where all the rich people live, and they're all doing these like crazy drugs and stuff like that. Oh, I wish I could remember. Snowpiercer, I think it's called.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's they live on that train, don't they? Like they have to stay on the train. It's got
Yep.
Lawrence Fishburne on it in it or something, right?
I think so, but yeah, you're right. They do have to stay on the train. They can't get off of it. I think
That's
that's the one I'm thinking of.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, man.
That's how that's the way the world. I mean, even now, like I don't know. It's just it's so insane. You look at the state of the world and like how cut off each demographic is. It's just I don't know. And that's my whole thing. I got into it last week about athletes. Like we don't want to hear your opinion, but it's because you're out of touch. And like it's not just athletes. It's like celebrities and shit or people that are astoundingly wealthy. Like you're out of touch. Even politicians, by and large, you're out of touch with the everyday American. Like when's the last time you had to worry about paying your electric bill or, anything like that?
Oh yeah, they don't worry about anything that we worry about. Maybe relationship issues, but they never have to fret about money.
Yeah, but you want to give your opinion on like everybody should drive electric cars. We should go all electric by 2035 without realizing there are real world implications to that. Like, not everybody can afford, like, I can't afford a fucking Tesla, so you want to force everybody to go to this new age. And what happens, like, maybe I don't have to pay a gas bill anymore, like for my car, but you still have to pay for the electric. And those things consume some electric when you're charging them.
They do.
So what I'm gonna go from paying, because I mean, as it stands, I don't pay for my gas, but Lacey, I gas her up like once a week and it's like 35, $40. So that's what, $120, $160 a month. So I'm gonna go from that to having an electric bill that ranges from $150 to $200 to having an electric bill that's like $600.
Right. And it's the lithium that's in the battery. They end up having to mine for it, or get it out of the bottom of lakes and stuff like that. And their extraction for it destroys whatever they're getting it out of. So it's just like it was back in the 18th century, in the 19th century, when our drive was coal. Coal fueled everything. Well, we destroyed so much trying to get this coal, and now we're trying to do something different that's not destroying the environment, but yet we're still destroying the environment to create the batteries that the electric runs off of. And also, like you said, the energy used to charge these vehicles, draining the grid. I mean, how long till that bubble's going to pop, you know?
Yeah. Well, even think about, so you have an electric car, but a large part of the grid is powered by coal still to this day, and natural gas. So I mean, or nuclear, which I think nuclear, we should go 100% nuclear. But oil, we have pretty clean oil technology now, like as far as getting it out of the ground, refining it, and everything like that. It doesn't do near the damage to an environment that like cobalt mines, lithium mines, all these different rare earth minerals. Those mines are disgusting, and you can never go back there.
Right.
Like, it's not like you can terraform over it and add some dirt and just like have people go live there again.
Yeah,
You
you're
bleed
right.
you bleed a rig dry, you cap off that well, and you're done with it. So
Yep.
that's
It's not any better. No one is better than the other.
oh. So what we got next outside of the train article? What you going with now?
All right, we'll move the train stuff. I think we covered plenty of that already. And we'll move on to the next one. It seems like somehow all of the articles we find that are like obscure news, it involves kids, robots, but this next one is another doozy. So this one comes from ABC13.com, and this one hits pretty close to home because this is Montgomery County. Article was published on February 9th. Montgomery County mom accused of abandoning two young children home alone for nearly 2 months. You got her?
She left her kids home for 2 months.
According to Roman Forest Police Chief Raven Yates, 31, left her
Jesus.
12-year-old daughter and her 3-year-old son alone in their home in the 2000th block of Maplewood Ridge Drive. Yates reportedly left in late September, and it was not until nearly 2 months later that the children were discovered alone. No food in the house. Everything was empty. This was quoted by Chief Stephen Carlisle. There were some dry beans and spices, and that was it.
That's insane.
The
Like,
three year the 3 year old's bedroom smelled like heavy urine. Uh, yeah. Go ahead. What's that?
that's insane. Like, I'm reading it along with you. Like, the 3-year-old's bedroom smelled like heavy urine, and I agree with that. The next sentence, a 12-year-old can't take care of a 3-year-old. No, definitely not. That's like, I need to go out for some, even at 12, I wouldn't really trust it. But, 13, Araya stays here for, maybe 10, 15 minutes if I've got to run next to over to Sheets or something. But I live right across the street from the fucking store. Now I'm not going anywhere for 2 months. Where the fuck was she at for 2 months?
These incidents that we're reading about, that we've read about over the past few weeks, about the baby being left at the airport and this bitch leaving her kids home for 2 months. I mean, we're creating, and not we, but society is creating a generation of kids that are going to grow up to be, what do you think? I mean, serial killers, God forbid, mass shooters. They're going to have so many mental problems to deal with. And you hear these stories every single day. I mean, not even every single week, every day.
Dude, listen to this. The children have different fathers, and according to investigators, Yates threatened her 12-year-old daughter that the girl's father would take her and leave her 3-year-old brother alone if she told anyone. Like, that was horrible. Like, you just like put a guilt trip on a 12-year-old kid.
God,
The
that's
12-year-old would get food by telling her father that Yates was working and he would order food. Like, how do you not see your kids for 2 months anyway?
and it said she never enrolled the kids in school either.
Like, ever?
Not since they moved to Texas a year ago.
Oh, so I thought this was Montgomery County.
I did too. It says Montgomery County, but I guess it's Texas. It's not Maryland.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's Roman
No, that
Forest,
was
Texas.
yeah, okay. So that was an article. I think the one you're thinking of is the one with the 80-year-old, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't think that one's in Maryland either. I think I just saw Montgomery County and immediately assumed Maryland, but apparently there's Montgomery counties probably all over America.
Well, that and I mean these things, like you just said, that it happens so much that you know you don't really. It happens everywhere.
Right.
You
All the
fucking
time.
idiots, just leaving your kids like those people that fucking left their kids at the airport because they had to go to Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, that was what I was referring to. Isn't that crazy, man? I can't even fathom that.
And that's what I said, like, whenever we were talking about that. Like, you want to talk about all these different restrictions on people and shit like that. Maybe you should have to have a fucking IQ test and a mental evaluation before you have fucking kids.
Flip that. Clip that. You're right.
Seriously, you should. You
I
should not
agree.
be able to have a fucking child if your dumbass can't even wipe your own ass. If you get flighty and you got to go somewhere for 2 fucking months and leave your 12-year-old and 3-year-old at the house, maybe you shouldn't have had kids. How do you even like? How does your conscience let you live with that? Like, I feel bad because I legitimately told the little one today she was doing something stupid, and I said, "Hey, stop that now!" And she started crying. I felt like a piece of shit because she started crying, looking at me all angry and sad.
Right.
But then you got these assholes that fucking leave their kids for 2 months or leave their kid in an airport.
I know. It's just unbelievable.
What a bunch of sacks of shit, dude. Like, that's and then like the kid would. I had my dad order me food. Like, what kind of piece of shit? Like, so you got two parents that are pieces of shit.
Well, he was in California.
Okay, so why? Like, I don't know.
The 12-year-old's dad is a music producer in California, and he was the one that would, I guess, he DoorDash him food or something. That's what it sounds like.
Well, at least they had someone take care of them, I guess.
Well,
But
he can't do a whole lot when he's in California, but
well, at least they had food. That was like my concern because when you said like the limited amount of food, I'm like, what were they doing? Eating dry beans?
she didn't leave them any food. She left them dry beans and spices, like you said. She didn't care if they didn't have food or not. She told, I think it says that she was the one that told them to tell the dad to order food. But I mean, that's kind of a fly by the seat of your pants type of thing, is it not? I mean, the kids are supposed to have at least 3 meals a day. So she's looking out for them to get one every couple days. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's wild. That's so insane.
We'll go into the third article, which is also in Texas. This is Rising Star, Texas. I wanted to go with this one instead of the 80-year-old woman babysitting. I just thought this one would be, I guess, a little more lighthearted, but not really. A third grader, a third grader in Rising Star, this is in Texas, found a gun the superintendent left in the school bathroom. Superintendent Robbie Sudaville confirms the third grader found the gun at Rising Start Elementary School back in January and notified a teacher immediately without moving or touching the weapon. While using the bathroom, Studeville says he took the gun off and placed it in the stall where it was left unattended for around 15 minutes until it was found by the student. You know damn well he was taking a shit. He was in there taking a shit and he took that gun off so he wouldn't be uncomfortable while he was taking a dump. And that's what happened.
Oh God, that's ridiculous. And he said there was never a danger other than the obvious. What, the smell of your fucking ass? Is that what you're claiming? No, there was a fucking obvious danger, you dipshit. The obvious danger is there's a loaded fucking handgun sitting in a stool or in a bathroom full of fucking kindergartners and shit.
Isn't that horrible?
Because I mean, we all know, like most of the time, the kids, like the ones that are shooting up these schools, are deranged, like high school age or young adults. So I mean, I don't think that was, but that kid sees it and starts playing with it, shoots himself.
Right.
My dumbass when I was fucking 8 years old or whatever in school, I would have fucking started playing with it. Just I was a kid. It's not the kid's fault.
That would have gone right in your backpack.
Yeah, if I didn't shoot myself or someone else just like playing with it. Hey, look what I found, my toy, bam. And then I look like the asshole because this dipshit had to drop some turds off and leaves his gun sitting on the fucking. He probably left it sit right where everybody puts their cell phone. Probably let it sit right on that toilet paper holder.
Yep. Yeah, where everybody does blow.
What a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Look,
well,
like
props to the kid though. I mean, at least he was responsible enough to be like, "Oh shoot, there's a gun. Let me let somebody know." Good for him.
yeah, that's wild. Like, look, I'm all for, like, I think there should be some protection in schools because of the school shootings. I have 3 kids that are in school. So, but if you're gonna have irresponsible behavior like this, like maybe not. Like if you knew that you had to take a shit and you were gonna take that gun off, you should have like locked it in your desk or something.
Right.
Oh, but what if a school shooting happened? I was sitting there taking the fucking Browns to the Super Bowl.
Well, you know he was taking a shit because number one, he wouldn't have left it there. If you're taking a piss, you set it on the porcelain top there. You're gonna see that gun while you're zipping up, and you're gonna put it where it's supposed to go. He had his back turned to that gun, I'm sure. Took a dump, wiped his ass, opened the door, bam, he's gone. Gun's still in the stall.
How'd you forget it? It's not like they're light. In any case, they're not light. So I mean, even if he did take it and he was taking a shit, like you get up, you pull your pants up, you tuck in your shirt and everything, and then you go to walk out. Like, how do you not realize that, hey, this like 10-pound piece of, my wardrobe isn't here anymore?
Because he probably waddled out of the bathroom with a half empty bottle of Old Crow under his arm.
Yeah, most likely fucking drunk and stupid. Jesus Christ. What a fucking dumbass. How the hell, like, I really don't understand that. Like, how you just leave a gun sitting in a school. And he's probably one of these diehard, like, arm the teachers. You're a
Yeah.
fucking prime example why it's not going to happen now, you dipshit.
Yep, exactly.
Like, you've got to. This is even out to the people out there that have kids in your home. Lock your fucking guns up. Just lock them up. It's not that hard. Do you like having them? Then lock them up at all times. Make sure your kids can't get rid of the fucking keys. Don't use biometric. Especially if you have children, use biometric locks, like your thumbprint, something like that, because you have a teenage kid. They're getting in. They're finding out. They're finding your porn drawer. If they can find your porn, what do you think they're going to do with a gun? They can find your gun. They can find the blow that you keep in your fucking underwear drawer. So put something that's a little more restrictive on your fucking gun so your kids can't get them.
My dad was so clandestine with how he hid his firearms. I never saw where he hid them till I was 30 years old.
That's good. That's the way it should be.
Exactly.
So you didn't get picked on by fucking, Roy Rogers at school. And then you're going to go in and shoot up the entire class because you had a bad day. You find your dad's guns and go into school and shoot up the whole school just because you're a shithead. You know,
Right.
that the parents are equally as guilty in a lot of those cases. To me, like, how did your kids have access to it?
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to irresponsible parents. I'm sorry, but that's the problem.
That is irresponsible parents and mental health. Because I mean, even like this woman that left her kids, she's got issues too.
She has to, yeah.
Like there's something up with her mental health even.
And the parents that left the kid at the airport. Come on,
Yeah.
man. You're telling me you're of sound mind when you're just gonna say, well, we'll go on the trip and just leave him here. He'll be all right.
Well, even this dude that left his gun in the stall, he's got shit for brains.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
He probably had a piece of toilet paper trailing out behind him stuck to his shoe.
Exactly.
He probably
Exactly.
noticed that. He noticed that he had a piece of toilet paper on his shoe, but didn't realize the fucking firearm that he left around a bunch of fucking adolescents.
As he's belching up that old crow under his arm.
He probably hits on the math teachers.
And not only that, he was the superintendent, man. He wasn't even a principal. He was the superintendent.
Why is he even in the
Uh,
school?
Well, they do like checks and they check up on teachers, and sometimes they'll sit in classes to make sure that teachers are doing the right curriculum and stuff like that.
Well, someone needs to check up on him.
Apparently.
Well, he probably doesn't have a job anymore. Does it go on to say whether he got fired or not? I don't know. Let's see here.
It says the superintendent Studeville is no longer bringing his weapon to school, but no, I think he's still got the job, brother. He just says he's not going to bring the gun anymore. Good for him.
I think he should lose his job, honestly.
You would think.
Like, I mean, imagine if the school resource officer left his gun sitting, a trained police officer but I mean, imagine if fucking old Ron would have left his gun sitting in the shitter in high school. They would have fired him on the spot.
Oh, and God forbid any of the guys we went to school with getting a hold of that thing. It would have been gone. You'd never see that gun again until somebody got pulled over with it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have told a teacher, oh shit, there's a gun. Mine.
Hey, did you see TJ's new gun?
True, true or false? I mean, I'm thinking about it right now. I would have snatched it up. I would have snatched it up, and I couldn't wait till I got out of school to fuck with it.
Exactly. So I mean, like you said, kudos to this little kid, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That could have been a bad situation.
Oh, that could have been horrible. I don't even want to think about that.
What a dumbass. He's the unholy saint this week.
Yep. Good pick.
Yeah, just you can't do dumb shit like that. Come on
No.
now. Like, get a hold of yourself. Like, what
I
the
think
fuck?
him and the other lady from Texas that left her kids home alone for 2 months, both of them deserve it this week. That's a 2 for 1.
Yeah, they're sharing that spot because I actually think she deserves it more, but they both can share it because they're both pretty fucking stupid.
Well, they're not the unholy saints. We'll put them in the unholy shit bag of the week
Yeah.
because there's nothing sane about either one of them.
What a fucking bunch of idiots. Wow.
Uh, Don't go to Texas, kids.
Yeah, don't send your kids to school in Texas. That's one thing. They are fucking crazy down there too. Like, because I was living down there in 2020 and right around the elections, and the teachers were like telling the kids like pretty much like, you want to see a red state, especially where I lived. Like they were all for fucking Trump, dude.
Really?
Yeah, like the teachers would like, and I'm talking like this is like elementary school and shit. Like the girls would come home from school and just be like, "What's wrong with Joe Biden? Are you voting for Trump? Trump's the better candidate." I'm like, "Where are you hearing this from?" Our teacher was talking about it in school. They were saying how stupid Biden is. They kept calling what they were calling him like slow Joe and shit.
Really? The kids were?
No, the teachers were calling. Well,
The
the kids
teachers
said
were?
it. The teachers would like talk about like the election, and they'd be like slow Joe when
Wow.
they were talking about Biden and shit. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, where
Oh
we
my
lived
God.
and where they went to school, that was a whole God's guns and country kind of.
What were the girls coming home and be like, go back and make me my burrito, motherfucker. Trump, Trump, Trump.
No, they didn't go that far, but man, there's a lot of fucking even down like down there. It's wild because you'll see like a Mexican dude and you'll see him and you'll expect him to be like, "Hey, what did you want to do today, man?" And then it'll be like, "Hey, y'all, you want to ride in my pickup truck?" And it's this fucking like full blood Mexican dude.
Really?
Yeah, talking like it's like a fucking hick. Yeah,
Wow, that's hardcore.
and the it's all across though. Like you'll even see him. There's this dude that actually he works around here. He's one of my distributors, and he's Asian, and he lives in fucking Martinsburg. Dude, he talks and sounds like a fucking like someone who lives from in West Virginia.
Wow.
Like not like the whole accent and shit. Like the whole like you would never imagine it when you meet him, but it's just like straight out of China. And here he sounds like he's from fucking the deep south.
Well, that's pretty cool.
It's wild, like especially in Texas though. When you seen that for the first time, you see this Mexican getting out of this big jacked up truck, and he's just like, "Hey y'all," and I'm like, "The fuck?" I wasn't
You're
expecting this.
you're thinking, where am I?
Yeah, I was expecting him to stand there and look at me like I was stupid for 20 minutes and said, "No habla Spanish or English." And no, he greets me like I'm just a fucking every guy, everyday guy. You see a fucking Mexican dude that just speaks perfect fucking. Well, I wouldn't say it's perfect English, but
How you doing, feller?
yeah, like Jesus, it's wild.
Well,
Texas,
that's
yeah,
that's all
Texas.
I
Don't
got
fuck
for
with
news.
Texas.
That's all I got for news, man. Unfortunately, it was mostly Texas and Ohio, but pretty crazy stuff going on there.
No robots this week, huh?
No,
Damn,
none that made the paper.
damn, that sucks. Well,
I f-
I'm sure something's gonna happen with this Chat GPT and all this shit's going around. So
Honestly, I found a few, but I just wanted to give your blood pressure a break.
that's good. I don't really hate robots, but I hate like mainly robot waiters.
That charge tips,
Yeah,
fucking gratuity.
fuck them robots.
All right, what do we got next, man?
I don't know. Have you ever wondered if Fabuloso tastes as good as it smells?
Oh, those bottles get me every time, man. That looks like some of the best juice you could ever buy, doesn't
Dude,
it?
yeah, there where was I at the other day? I smelled it. Someone was cleaning and that's what made me think of it. I was like, Fabuloso. This shit looks so good and it smells good too.
That's not even right that they can do that, you know? It shouldn't even be legal.
Like you make it smell just like a juice.
It's like Takis, man. You look at the bag and they're advertised as chips, and then when you taste them, it's just raw chemicals.
I've never eaten those. Are they good?
Oh my God, they're awful. It's like Cheeto, it's like bad Cheeto dust, like that cheese artificial cheese dust they put on chips, times it by 50. Like the strongest cheese dust you can taste. Oh my God, my gut was fucked for 2 days after eating them. I'll never do it again. They should give that to like foreign POWs like the Taliban that we have in Guantanamo Bay because they're gonna die after a week's worth of those. I'm surprised there aren't more kids dropping from that shit.
Speaking of Cheeto dust, though, we had shortages. We weren't getting Cheetos because the exact reason from Frito Lay was there's a shortage in the flavoring for Cheetos.
In the dust department.
So it's like, okay, maybe if you reduced the amount of fucking Cheeto dust on your fucking chips by maybe even just a third, make it to where you, by the time you're done eating a bag of fucking Cheetos, that you can't finger paint with it. Maybe then you wouldn't have ran out of fucking Cheeto dust.
What if we find out that there's a third world country that's just mining Cheeto dust? It's like not artificial; it's actually there, they're not going fast enough to get it out of there. I can't take any more Cheeto dust.
The
It hurts my
Americans,
eyes.
they're eating it too fast.
It's burning my eyes.
Man, fucking Cheeto dust. Takis, don't they have like the blue raspberry too? Like they have weird flavors to them, don't they?
Man, they got all kinds of shit now. They got Taki chips now. Uh, we had for a while these like Taki frozen like pizza bite things. Oh my god. Oh yeah, they didn't last long. I guess after the kids started throwing up for 7 hours straight, they were like, "Well, I guess we're not going to buy them again."
I've never like even the bag, like it just doesn't seem like I like hot shit, but I like flaming hot Cheetos and stuff like that. But
Get a
not
get a bag, and try them out, and come back next week and tell me what you think, and tell me I'm
well,
not lying.
at this point I'm not going to just because my stomach's been fucked as it is, but yeah, they've never even held an appeal. Like they're rolled up, right?
Yeah, they're rolled up.
Now I like regular fucking tortilla chips. Why are you rolling it up?
Yeah, well, if your stomach is fucked now, you give them a couple Takis, and they might as well commit suicide.
Yeah, I don't know. Just never look good. Then just getting back to that government waste. So if you really trust our government,
I don't.
okay, and you think that they're telling the truth about fucking this Norfolk Southern, about these goddamn balloons,
They're not.
the NIH, and I think this is from a couple of years ago, injected $2.3 million worth of fucking Peruvian cocaine into beagles.
Eagles.
Yeah,
Why?
to see how they'd react to it, I guess. They're fucking trying to turn male monkeys, like they're studying transvestite like hormones and shit on monkeys. Like our government is actively spending money on researching gender reassignment surgeries on monkeys.
So that's where that missing $60 billion went that they were talking to Congress about.
It went somewhere, but they're shooting down fucking used car balloons. I can't believe they even said that. Like, how fucking stupid are you? Like, you know what? That is such an utter crock of shit. And we all thought that Trump's fucking COVID briefings were a shit show. Like, what about some of these fucking conferences with Biden and shit? Like, used car balloons.
I think the one said Cadillac on it.
They
Didn't
probably, yeah. Well, I don't know. I think the one said Suzuki. They're
said
used car
Nissan.
balloons. Yeah.
It said Fitzgerald Auto Mall.
Shoot it down.
It was from last weekend's promotion,
It's crazy.
isn't it?
The government is coming for your kids. They're shooting down the spy balloons. I'll tell you right now, Donald Trump lied about it. Joe Biden's lying about it. They need to get these used car balloons down because they're coming for your kids. They got Marty the robot. All right. They're turning the frogs gay. Now they're turning the monkeys gay. They're injecting fucking cocaine into puppies. When does it end?
Wouldn't that be anything Alex Jones says could be a great name for a punk band or an alternative rock band? Cocaine Beagles, uh, Gay Frogs. You know what I mean?
Man, he's tamed down a little bit. I listened to him this week a little bit. He was pretty tame.
Is the sequel to Cocaine Bears going to be Cocaine Beagles?
That would be something I'd probably watch. I didn't watch Cocaine Bears though. Did you watch it?
Well, I think it's just Cocaine Bear. I think I said it wrong, but no, I didn't watch it. It looks,
What was that even on?
I don't know. I think it just came out. I think it's in theaters now, but apparently it's based on a true story. Like this bear actually did get a hold of cocaine and ended up destroying all this shit. Like I'm serious. I heard that it's based on true events.
A 500-pound black bear consumes a significant amount of cocaine and embarks on a drug-fueled rampage.
That's it. Yep.
An eccentric gathering of cops, criminals, tourists, and teenagers assemble in a Georgia forest. Holy shit.
Isn't that crazy?
There's no way this is real life. Elizabeth Banks is the director. She looks like Chelsea Handler a
Oh,
little bit.
Elizabeth Banks directed the movie. You know who
Yeah.
she is. Oh, she
Yeah.
Zach and Miri make a porno. When
Yeah.
when did she get into directing?
A lot of those actors direct or, they end up getting into directing.
Oh, so her claim to fame now is going to be Cocaine Bear. Wow, that should shoot her to the
Director.
stars.
She's one of the producers. Yeah. She does look a lot. Chelsea Handler's fucking stupid, dude.
Well,
Did you see she had this video like the day in the life of someone with no kids? It was fucking weird. And then like I'm sitting there and I'm looking at people that like idolize her and shit. Do you know this dumb fuck didn't realize that the moon and the sun were different things?
I heard about that. I heard about that.
She thought that when the sun would set and the moon came out, it was like the same, like it was pretty much just like putting a mask on.
Yeah, well, that's levels of intelligence I just can't comprehend.
That's why I said celebrities and athletes and everything, they just need to keep their mouth shut from time to time and not tell
They
us how to live our lives
they
because
don't they don't need a voice.
no. Well, they need a voice because we should all have a voice, but yeah, maybe not take them so fucking serious. Like Billy fucking Baldwin.
You and the Baldwins, man.
We all know from episode 1 or 2, whichever one it was, that I have no love for the Baldwins.
That was episode 1, and I think we all remember.
Yeah, fuck the Baldwins. They all look the same too. It's kind of weird. Like it's like that family cloned like their kids.
They do look all very well alike. You can tell that there was no his wife was not banging somebody else when she made those kids. They're definitely from him.
What if like Alec Baldwin is he's the main one and they cloned all of his siblings from him. Oh, this baby's so precious. We need 10 more of them. Cuz aren't there like a rack of them? There's a bunch of Baldwins.
Yeah, there are. They all had kids and everything too. Or I think a few, but most of the boys had kids.
I feel sorry for their kids.
Well, the ones with Justin Bieber, isn't she? Haley Baldwin, isn't that her name?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, you want to move on to pick your Pawn Stars, dude? A little bit more
Yeah.
lighthearted.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, well, we're going to the favorite segment of the week, pick your Pawn Stars. I'm going to lay out 3 scenarios, and one of 3 Pawn Stars Dustin is going to pick for this scenario, whichever one he feels is the best choice. No Rick again, because we all know Rick is the MVP. There's never going to be a scenario where we're not going to pick Rick, unless it's one to give somebody a good deal and not lowball them.
Yeah, he doesn't give out good deals.
No. So the first one, and I hate to do it, man, after the articles that we've read about kids, I really hate to do this one, but I think it's appropriate to go with this episode. Dustin, you have an emergency. You have to go to work. Your wife has to go to work. She can't be there. You need a babysitter for your 3 kids, and you can pick one of 3 Pawn Stars, and those 3 choices are Chumley, the old man, or Hoss Corey, which is Rick's son. Dustin, which one do you choose to take care of your kids for the evening?
Pops, I'm gonna come back and they're gonna be like 100% under control. They're gonna be better kids than when I left them. He's gonna do a better job parenting my kids than I do. I'm gonna come home. They're gonna be like, yes, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Their room's probably actually gonna be clean. They're gonna be dying for some like fun after dealing with him.
I can agree with you on that because Pops is a straight shooter and he does not take shit, man. You know,
They'll probably end up loving him though, or he could be like that fun grandparent where he's like, "I'm only going to be here for a little while anyway." So he just gives in and gives them whatever the fuck they want. So that they're either gonna, I'm gonna come back and they're gonna be great, or I'm gonna come back and they're gonna be fucking cracked out on candy and shit.
Yeah, you're right. You're
But I
right.
think I'd put my bets on him. Just I don't trust Chum at all for that. And Corey, uh, you know, it's hit or miss with him. Like I don't think he's or irresponsible. So, but Chum, no, there's no fucking way I'd leave him with my kids.
I think Corey would be like the babysitter that would just sit on his ass the whole time and kind of not really kind of neglect the kids, you know?
Yeah, he's just gonna be sitting there swiping on Tinder and shit.
Exactly, exactly. Looking on eBay.
He's gonna be trying to find fucking girls to bring over to my house
Oh, you're right. I bet he
while he's
would too.
babysitting and shit.
I bet he would. Well, they don't call him Hoss for nothing, you know? All right, number two. You're at a bar, you guys are having a great time, everybody's throwing back drinks. You get into an altercation with a few guys, and these are big guys at the bar. And this is one you're gonna need a little bit of help with. Dustin, which pawn star do you choose to be your wingman in a bar fight slash altercation? Old man, chum, or hoss?
Come just because I don't think him getting hit on the head is gonna do much. And I think as stupid as he is, like we said this before, he's got like that stupid strength too. Like he just comes out of nowhere.
He's a
And it's like,
savant.
yeah, he's just like picking fucking people up and body slamming them. He has no regard for his health.
He'd be like the juggernaut in X-Men, just crashing through the wall and
Yeah, he's like power bombing people through tables and shit. And he's getting like he's impervious to anything. Like people are smashing bottles off his head, and he's just like Hawk smash. I don't think he's being, nothing's taking that guy down. He's
could
fighting
see
for
that.
life. And Hall's hit the gym though, so he'd be a good one too. Corey, in terms of athletic ability, I'd probably go with Corey. But just in sheer craziness and actually, like he'd kill a motherfucker. Chum would.
He probably would.
He just he doesn't think two steps ahead, and I think he'd just get carried away, and he'd end up stabbing a couple people with some broken bottles. And but I mean, I'd make it out safe. Maybe I'd be an accessory, but then we could wind up in jail together again.
Yeah, yeah, I forgot about that. Right.
That's what landed us in jail.
That,
Is the
that
bar
that
fight.
yeah, that was the incident.
We seen the superintendent of the schools in Texas at the bar, and that's what started the fight because we called him a dumbass for leaving the gun in the toilet. And then after that, he got stabbed in the neck, so we got sentenced to life in jail. And
What do we do? We're talking shit to the principal. Hey, shithead, why don't you go in there and take a dump? Bring your gun with you too. All right, last but not least, third scenario. God forbid something would happen to me and I would have to take some time away from the podcast. Dustin, which of the three Pawn Stars would you pick as your co-host from week to week?
man, that's a tough one because I'm the one that says the funny shit, so I don't need Chum.
Is
Corey just
Chum's not funny though. He's just an idiot. You know, I don't think he'd be able to one up you at all.
yeah, but you bring the news and shit too, like, and you bring like you can kind of reel me back in. So I need someone that is able to fit those shoes. So I mean, I think Corey, because I think Corey's smart. I'd go with Corey. Pops would just be boring to me. And I don't know if he would be able to stay awake long enough to go through an hour and a half episode because he was
Yeah,
always sleeping and shit.
he was. Yeah, he
So
was
I think
dozing off a lot.
Corey, he's a pretty smart guy. I think he's a good shit talker, and I think he would know ways to get me amped up and then to reel me back in. I
Right.
feel like he fucks with people enough and like he knows how to push buttons so he could get me to certain levels and then be like, okay, let's calm back down.
Yeah, Corey's definitely a smart ass too, you know, so he would always have something snarky to say.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think he could pull some good news articles together too.
Yeah, he might be able to. He lives out in Vegas, you know. All the crazy shit happens in Vegas, if not Texas,
That's close enough to Texas too. Just take a
right?
little trip down there.
Close to California, close to Texas, and you know California, the home of fruits and nuts.
Yeah, no shit. California's a fucking wild place. I'm surprised that we don't have more articles from Florida or California.
I think California and Florida, there's just so much going on that it's almost like news outlets are just overloaded with a Florida man, a California man, you know?
Well, Florida man, like nothing surprises anybody anymore out of Florida.
Nope.
And I lived there, so I know this shit's true. I lived there for fucking what, like 5 years?
This is my prediction, though. Colorado is going to be the new Florida one day. It's going to be
No,
the cold weather Florida.
I could see that. Yeah. Well, maybe not with the meth heads and shit.
No, but it's Colorado is still towards the Midwest. There's probably more meth there than there is here in Maryland.
Well, yeah, in Maryland, there's a ton of meth in Florida.
But
Like
there's a ton of everything in Florida. Coke, meth,
I knew
fentanyl,
about
bath salt.
I knew more about gophers before fucking Breaking Bad came out than most people did because that's what like the meth heads they were like cooking meth in shacks and shit, and they would send people like meth heads out to get fucking Sudafed and shit for them.
Wow.
Like they would send them like you would go for like you would drive around like up to like 6 7 hours a night going to different CVS's, Walgreens. Like you could only hit them in certain towns too. It's like so you could hit this Walgreens and this CVS, but then after you bought at those two Walgreens and CVS's, you couldn't go to another one in that county.
How
You had to
many
go.
pa- how many packs did you get one night?
I didn't get them, but I think you could buy. I think the limit at the store was like 4 packs of the Sudafed or whatever it was. So you'd end up you could get 8 per county, but you need a fuck ton of that shit.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So they would like drive up and down Florida and fucking go to all the different like CVS's and Walgreens. But like I said, you had to do it in each different county because it
God
was
damn.
tracked by county and shit. But it's crazy too, like the fucking pill mills and shit down there.
Yeah.
Like you could go like this is the extent of how it was. So there would be a doctor here and like a little hallway and then the pharmacy. So you would go into the pain management clinic, go see the doctor, tell him like pills in Florida were like medical marijuana in Maryland. So you know how medical marijuana up here you have to pay like 200 $250 whatever you get to get and then you go for the evaluation. You say you have trouble sleeping at night or your knee hurts or something like that. Okay, we're going to approve you for a medical marijuana card here. And they give it to you. That's how Florida pain management clinics were. You went in, you said, "Oh, my back hurts." And they're like, "Oh, sounds like you have chronic back pain. Here's a prescription for 120 Darvocets."
Damn.
Yeah. Like there was no fucking oversight to it. Like you could go, anyone could go get pills in Florida.
How many pills do you think you could get if you had something like rickets?
What the fuck is rickets? Do you sound like a cricket?
I don't know. It's a real thing, man. I saw it on something. Rickets, it was like an old disease from like back in the Victorian days,
Is it
man.
like scurvy?
Rickets. Yeah, I'm serious. It's real. I didn't make it up.
It is kind of like fucking scurvy though. It's rickets is the softening and weakening of bones in children, usually because of an extreme and prolonged vitamin D deficiency. So that little kid, those two little kids that bitch left in the house and wherever it was, uh,
Oh,
she
fuck.
she probably gave her kids rickets because they didn't have vitamin
Oh,
D.
that's rough.
They probably have scurvy too because they need vitamin C.
But vitamin D, you can get that from sunlight, right? Or
Yeah, but
sun exposure.
they weren't walking outside, were they?
I doubt it. Well, I don't know.
They probably weren't. I mean, they weren't enrolled in school. They were probably just man. Hopefully, she was paying the cable bill and shit. That's like
If
that kid from Breaking Bad with the meth head parents with the ATM.
yeah. Oh,
That's like
that's sad.
that's probably how she was with them.
She probably left them with a PS4 and all they could play was Fortnite.
Maybe if they had internet connection.
Oh, you're right.
She probably left them with a PS4 and a fucking Blu-ray disc of fucking Barney.
Oh God.
Do you imagine being 12 years old? Man, I was a little ass. Like my parents couldn't have gotten away with that shit at 12 years old. I'd have been
You
like,
would have,
fuck you.
yeah.
I mean, I guess girls are a little different too. Like I notice even like my kids, it's different having girls than it was having, I had three brothers. So I'm sure you and your sister were like different experiences for your parents too.
Yeah,
Like she probably towed the line a little bit more than you did. And
she did.
boys are just unruly, dude. Hashtag boy mom.
Yeah, those poor boy moms.
Boys are fucking, we get that ego around 12. Like once we hit puberty, we just think that we rule the fucking world. It's like, yeah, we could fucking jack off now, motherfucker. Say something to me, I'll come on your fucking face.
I never thought that.
I'm gonna wipe cum on you.
That, ew.
I
All
didn't
right.
think that either, but yeah.
No, you did. All right, what do we got, man? We're getting close. Is there
Yeah, I think
anything else
no, I think that's about it. I do want to
after
make
that
this
one?
I want to make this PSA just for the simple fact of what I just said and other things that I say. And it's sad that we even have to say this, but for people watching and listening, and I might even have to make this a clip. The shit that I say is in fucking persona. It's in a fucking character. I don't give a flying fuck about pandas. I don't care about the postal service. If you really fucking believe that I believe that strongly about it, and I'm not just playing a character trying to have a little bit of lighthearted fun, maybe you should go fuck yourself and not listen to the show. So, right there. I'm playing a fucking character, you dumbasses. Do I really think that just because I can jack off, I should go around coming on people's faces? Of course not.
Well, now I'm starting to think you probably should have said that disclaimer 4 episodes ago.
Well, it's there now. I'm probably not even going to clip it. I'm going to make them, you have to watch it to see the disclaimer.
You got to watch the whole video.
Yeah, you got to watch the whole thing just to
Well,
get that disclaimer. So,
main thing we can take away from this week's episode is we got a nation full of kids that we should be praying for right now because they're going through a rough time.
they are. And mental health is not the reason that school shootings have spiked, according to several prominent political figures.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Well,
I'm
I
pretty sure
believe
that
that.
is the reason, mental health, kids being subjected to some of the things they've been.
Oh, absolutely. And rickets.
I know, fucking rickets, man. God damn it. Fucking scurvy and rickets and
Wait a minute.
cordyceps.
Hold on. Before we close, who's the saint of the week?
The reporter that got kicked out of the news conference
Amen.
because he was fighting for press freedom and he was giving it to the man. He was trying to get to the bottom of it.
He was fighting for transparency, which is what we all want and deserve. That's why he got in trouble.
We should have transparency. So YouTube, listen to this. Fix your fucking monetization policies. Fix your policies in general. Let Alex Jones back on. We need transparency from everybody. Because Rumble's not as cool as you. But you're going to force everybody to go to Rumble if you keep fucking saying you can't say bad words.
I hope Rumble does trump YouTube. I would love to see that.
Dude, their monetization's way better. Like with YouTube, you have to have like 10,000 subscribers. You have to have like over 1 million hours of watch time, all kinds of prerequisites. So you put all this work into building your channel and then they don't monetize you because you said fuck 3 times in a video.
I know, man. That's so messed up.
And Rumble, like there's no base. Like you don't have to have a certain amount of subscribers. It's just they start paying at 1,000 views.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So everything I put on YouTube now, so Alphabet, Google, whatever your fucking company's name is, just know everything that I post on your fucking platform is going to Rumble in the hopes that it gets bigger on Rumble and I could fucking give you the big middle finger.
Hell
Dicks.
yeah.
You
Hell yeah.
fucking socially woke, fucking stupid ass company. We need to be advertiser friendly for our fucking advertisers that sell fucking pharmaceutical medicines and alcohol. How many fucking YouTube ads have you seen that have fucking like for liquor and shit like that and beer? Like advertiser friendly? Come on now. We're a nation of fucking degenerates.
I see Michelob Ultra. Isn't that what it is? Michelob. I see those commercials all the time. You know what I'm talking about. The one in the silver skinny can. Isn't it
Yeah.
Michelob Ultra?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I see they have commercials nonstop, man.
But you got to be advertiser friendly.
Yeah. Well,
But, all right. Well, that's all for this week, guys. Just know that half the shit I say is in jest and I'm just being funny. So if you don't like it, hey, even if you don't like it, keep commenting because all you're doing is fucking helping my algorithm, you dumbass. So
we're
we
never gonna see
appreciate,
it. We're never gonna see a comment again now.
yeah, they're still gonna watch it. They're still gonna get like people can't help but to be outraged and comment. Like you get that anger comment. Like they've got to fucking get their opinion heard.
You're
Like,
right.
no, this is why you're wrong about the post office. Okay, I clearly said I don't give a fuck about the post office. So but we do appreciate everybody that listens, even the ones that hate us, because everybody helps. So stay tuned. We'll be back for another episode next week. As always, thank you, everybody. You watched the video, you made it this long. Go ahead and like and subscribe. We appreciate it.